Years after D. Vaux's letter, survivors of his team and its new members still cling to the scrolls in their possession, insisting on the need for continued research. And it is worth repeating what has been voluntarily released is, for the most part, of least importance. The Qumran texts are generally classified under two rubrics. On the one hand, there is a corpus of early copies of biblical texts, some with slightly variant readings. These are rendered to as publical biblical biblical material. On the other, there is a corpus of non-biblical material, consisting for the most part of documents never seen before, which can be labeled sectarian material. Most outsiders, needless to say, instinctively assume the biblical material to be of the greater interest and consequence. The simple word biblical triggers associations in the mind which lead automatically to such a supposition. To our knowledge, Eisenman was the first to detect and certainly the first to emphasize the sophistry involved in this, for the biblical material is perfectly innocuous and uncontroversial, containing no revelations of any kind. It consists of little more than copies of books from the Old Testament, more or less the same as those already in print or with only minor alterations. There is nothing radically new here. In reality, the most significant texts comprise not the biblical but the sectarian literature. It is these texts, rules, biblical commentaries, theological, astrological, and messianic treatises that pertain to the sect alleged to have resided at Qumran, and to their teachings. To label this material sectarian is effectively and skillfully to diffuse interest in it. Thus it is portrayed as the idiosyncratic doctrine of a fringe and maverick cult, a small, highly unrepresentative congregation divorced from and wholly peripheral to the supposed mainstream of Judaism and early Christianity, the phenomena to which it is in fact most pertinent. Outsiders are thus manipulated into accepting the consensus that the Qumran community was so-called Essenes, and that the Essenes, while interesting as a marginal development, have no real bearing on broader issues. The reality, as we shall see, is very different, and the perfunctorily dismissed sectarian texts will prove to contain material of an explosive nature indeed.